Thank you for joining me. This will be my thoughts on The Walking Dead Season 5, Episode 3, Four Walls and a Roof. And that's all we need. The episode is rated TVMA, so will this video be? There will be spoilers for every episode leading up to and including this one, not for anything later. Haven't watched past this one, so I couldn't spoil it if I wanted to. Yeah, another episode I absolutely fucking love, like all the ones leading up to it. God damn. Yeah. I am not sure I'm gonna... let's see. Yeah, I think I will start with... yeah, so... did not at all expect the termites to die so soon. Very good... yeah. Nor did I expect, like, holy shit, if they really... I don't... Is the show gonna split it? I'm not asking you to answer this definitively. I'm just thinking out loud. Wondering if the show, excuse me, is going to split, like, between Rick and his group and then the group going to Washington. It feels so weird to... Because, like, Glenn has been there since the second episode of the first season. Like, I don't know. I guess at some point... yeah, and anyone who doesn't survive until the finale is obviously going to have to leave the show at some point, but just, yeah. And I thought they did a really good job with the conflict. And I really appreciate that a lot of it was resolved with talking and finding common ground. Rather than violence. In real life, violence should only ever be a last resort. It solves almost no problems. In real life, it's, it's cathartic in fiction. But in real life, usually, at most, you're kicking the can down the road. Violence begets more violence. But yeah, there are some cases, it was necessary to stop Hitler. Stonewall was necessary, so yeah. I think that might bring us to the let's see. It might be about it for the overarching kind of stuff. Yeah, I think everything else is scene by scene. So I am gonna miss the termites. There's a sentence I never thought I'd say out loud. God damn. They were some of the best antagonists that the show has had so far. I don't know how they keep managing to top what came before, because, like, some of the earliest antagonists were already really, really great. Yeah. Okay, so the entire opening scene, just, there's so many things I love there. Okay, so the Kuleshov effect is in full effect, because they cut between hungry zombies and human flesh being consumed with by because that's the thing. Like, for a second I was like, are we watching zombies eat? And then it says, oh no, never mind, those are still the termites eating. And yeah, the entire group clearly want Rick and his surviving group dead. That's as good as a segue as I'm going to be able to come up with, I think. If you haven't already watched Alexander Avila, let's see. I believe I remember the title. Okay, so the following is the title. Right-wing Influencers Want You Dead. I think that's the title. Yeah, try that. It's a really solid video. As in general, you know, really glad to his channel has really grown and developed a lot. Love to see it. Um, yeah. Okay, so I will say I kept expecting there to be a payoff, but maybe it's coming in a later episode. But the zombie, yeah, students possibly, since they're inside a school. Um, yeah, and the god damn. I wonder if any of the actors playing termites had to like reassure others that like no, it's I swear I have not tasted human flesh. I haven't had the privilege of being invited to they just made it look like it, I promise, because like shit, the guy who played Scorpio had to which like poor guy. And shit, I wish I remember his name. I'm a big fan. Love him as Garrick on Deep Space. Amazing in Hellraiser, but poor guy's like super, gun control, in favor of gun control, as myself, is an acting job, and suddenly like people are like getting mad at him, like in the street, I think, as a just yeah. I really appreciate how much this person eats people. They'll they don't even fucking kill them. They keep them alive. They cut pieces off. They eat it right in front of them. At that point, like we're already like on board, Really impressed by the episode's ability to also make us like be like, I don't know, Rick, dude, you are. Ugh. He killed them. Um, I do think what he said made sense. You might not, you might let us go, but you're gonna kill and eat somebody else. But he was a little bit too eager to kill, for it to be uh, healthy, and I mean we already know Rick Grimes, sometimes when something really fucked up happens, he struggles, with his mental health. So yeah, um, yes, the opening scene, 8.5 goddamn minutes. I'm not past the fucking opening scene. There's just so much there. I thought they did. Okay, for a while, there's, the talking, and maybe especially the fact that Gareth keeps trying to like he's genuinely like no, listen, okay, yes, we cut part of your body off and we're eating it right in front of you. We're gonna do the same to all these people that you formed attachments to. But in our defense, like okay, I got nothing. Listen, maybe it'll help if I explain. You see, some people, you know what? I don't even know if I can say, okay, I'm not even gonna say it. It's just the fact that he's fucking talking about, like, the flavor and who has better. God, I admire these actors. I wonder how long it took, I mean, it's acting. It's obviously, there. I'm not saying that it's. I'm not one of those people who say, oh, you can't, uh, act as a character without, oh, there must be something wrong with you if you play a character like that, especially well. But yeah, holy shit, they just like, cause the whole way they're so fucking convincing. Oh my god, just God, it's so fucking, they're so repulsive. They're so goddamn. Oh my god. Okay. I swear, if they were any more like repugnant and just like them, the way that the more they explain and try to, convince you, the worse it gets. If they were any worse, I'm pretty sure they would be part of Trump's second administration. So atheists are terrorists now. Jesus fucking Christ. There's a lot of things I want to reference, but there's, I could make the video nothing but, references. I could fucking current day you nonstop, but it's actually more depressing than talking about the cannibals. So let's get back to the cannibals, and we're still not past the goddamn opening. Okay, not very much left to say. I really loved the part where he straight up, like Gareth says, I'm relating to you. Human to human, just something like that. Like, Jesus Christ. And then Bob, like, like at first it's like, is he crying? Oh, he's like laughing, and it becomes maniacal laugh, and yeah, they think, oh, he lost it, which, I mean, I've heard that is something that happens to people that go through something like that. They just, yeah, it's extremely detrimental to one's mental health. And they, one of them says, I thought he'd last longer. Wow. Like, this is a level of dehumanization. Like, so to be clear, the following, I'm not accusing the real life people of cannibalism, but the level of dehumanization we see in this scene, the termites have dehumanized Rick's survivors, I guess all survivors at this point. Yeah, reminds me of IDF. If you don't believe me, the Cavernacle did a number of videos where you really see just how, like, completely, yeah. Not to mention Zateo. Yeah. Then he explains. He shows the rather aggressive hickey that he got, and says, you ate tainted meat. Which just, like, oh my god, I can't. This is just too... And yeah, several of them spit it out. Yeah, that's what it took. They were willing to eat human flesh, but not, yeah. And Gareth insists, but the fire made it good. I can't explain it, but it we cooked it. It killed it, which it's one of those things. So if I understand correctly, the termites are now all dead. DED, dead. And the yeah. Uh I'm not saying that I would like to see someone else on the show eat human flesh, but I kind of want to know um, if it would, if it really did kill the virus, because like there's that they talk about, well, Jim, what was it, like 2 days, which true, that was with yeah, back in season 1, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, before they reached the CDC. Um, we did not see 2 whole days after they ate Bob, so it's not impossible that it didn't kill the virus. There are some viruses that are extremely hard to kill. I feel like throwing a parade. We are finally. I am done with things I wanted to say about the opening scene. Let's see. I think that brings. Oh, God damn it! I don't remember exactly what came next. Was it maybe Sasha confronting Gabriel? I think that might have been. Yeah. There. So somebody's. Listen, Padre. First one's a warning. I always feel like somebody's watching me. Got no privacy. So, are you part of it? Which is actually a neat kind of. I mean, I won't be like too judgmental here, because like I thought that maybe Gabriel was in some way involved in some kind of trap. But it does feel a tiny bit, the what's the word? Like if you were to Occam's razor it, maybe it makes more sense that at least some of the termites made it out and are, pursuing, stalking the Rick's survivors. So, but paranoia. Yeah, it's lots of people have done really horrible things because of paranoia. It's extremely important that we need conditions where people feel safe, so that they don't get paranoid and end up doing something incredibly damaging, like voting for Trump perhaps as much as 3 times. Um, Seriously, though, Republicans rule through fear. If you look at their messaging for the last 20 years, that's the only thing they seem to have to offer, because they sure as fuck are not going to actually help people if they get elected. But yeah, that was really well done, and goddamn, first she's just approaching him and saying, "You're part of this, aren't you?" Then she gets out the knife, and it's like, oh no, that's not gonna end well. And yeah, Rick does manage to get his secret out of him, and yeah, uh, that really is like, to think like they were yeah, banging on the, he was awoken by the sounds of a terrific banging outside, and yeah, like, and he left them to the. That's such a horrifying idea, and the thing of, like, he can't sleep because, you know can't sleep, clown will eat him, and also he keeps hearing the cries of them, you know. He let the dead kill those people, and not just the men, but the women and the children. That really is like Jesus fucking Christ. Um, and I thought Joel Osteen was bad, but yeah, it's no wonder that he is still really distraught and um, yeah, really well done on that. And yeah, it is also really like because they didn't hear, you know, we know where Carol and Daryl are. You know, if a Cheryl joins and starts hanging out with those two, they'll be Carol, Daryl, and Cheryl. I don't know. It seemed I like rhyming. But yeah, we know where the two. Well, all three of the missing people. We know exactly where they are. Yeah, that's to not know and to know you're being followed. Genuinely, really, no wonder they get paranoid. And you know the Bob reappears, and there's some zombies, and a point is made by Gareth or one of his men to specifically make sure to shoot one of the zombies. You know, just to make absolutely clear, you know, we are right here. You know, we chose not to shoot you just now. Very, you know, loud and clear message. Somewhat ironic because I think about it, they might have actually used a silencer. But yeah, they drag him in, and you know, we as the audience, it's God. The show is so fucking good at evoking and arousing. People are aroused. These complicated emotions because like I want Bob to make it and I want Rick's survivors to get to say goodbye, but I'm also like at first I was worried like is he gonna fucking tell them, you know, or are they gonna have to start eating his flesh too? Um, and then you know it's yeah, because like at that point it's like well, at some point you're going to have to finish him off, you know, just Jesus Christ. And it's very clever because it accomplishes multiple things for the termites. It's, you know, they obviously don't want someone who could turn into a walker at any moment um, around them. Um, putting him in the school might be a hassle, but you know, no. So there's little getting him back to the survivors. Like there's this because they're also gonna feel like even if they don't find out about the bite, there is still like slightly complicated emotion because like, okay, we're glad you're back, but why did they put you here? Like, what's going on? You know, they can't just be happy about it as they would if he hadn't appeared like that. Like hypothetically, let's say there's a knock at the door, they open, it's Bob, you know, oh, you're back, you know, no problem there. But like clearly he didn't get there of his own accord, you know, something is going on, someone is doing something, somewhere, somehow, someone's gonna pay. And they, yeah, there was a time, and I suppose it's possible it's still being done somewhere in the world, but for a while, if you were going to lay siege to, yeah, for example, a castle, you might try to get, you know, like, let's see, I think it would be usually like a dead animal or something, because, it would spread disease. It's a very effective way to, you know, so that's essentially what they're doing here. Now, obviously, I'm not saying that he's equivalent to an animal, but, infection could spread. Yeah. Uh, I don't know. I think I understand why they agreed to it, but maybe they shouldn't have taken in that, you know, very distraught looking individual who, like, apparently just, like, shot someone. Is that enough of a reference? I it's it's important to me that you know the following. I got a very, very real Assault on Precinct 13, the original John Carpenter vibe from this entire, like, because goddamn. So they make it clear that they're there, and you have this thing of like, well, maybe, we should move on them, maybe that could work. And just this, like, trying to fight them off inside, just, yeah, wonderful. Continue to really love the way this show will remind me of absolute classics, like, earlier there was 12 Angry Men, for example. Yeah, I think yeah, so they, he explains, and they find out about the school. Yeah, I guess it's a red herring. The thing, we think, oh, they're moving on the school. um yeah, I don't know, maybe, as soon as they see the school, they just can't help it, they just go up. And now that Trump, like Seth Meyers pointed out on his show, that Trump keeps talking about, like, hugging and kissing, as like diplomacy. Was he trying to do diplomacy on the women? Probably not. He's probably just a fucking sexual predator, decades long. Yeah. Sure glad that he has all this power. Remember when Republicans were saying that criminals shouldn't be, like, convicted felons shouldn't be allowed to vote because they're just going to vote in someone who's going to go easy on criminals. And then they voted in the convicted felon, and he's going easy on fucking criminals because of course he fucking is. Yes. Let's see. Yeah, really did appreciate that he pretty quickly told them and about the bite. And, yeah, what can you say? He wanted a bite, he got one. Not the exact kind he was hoping for. And, yeah, they talk about, well, he could last 2 days, and Abraham gets very, like, antsy, like, okay, we gotta get out of here. And yeah, like, I think it's Rick who points out, at night, like, that's, dude, if they're outside and you leave at night, with bad visibility, if they might just be waiting for us to leave, and then they'll pick us off, because it's much easier, like, as soon as the door opens, because if I understand correctly, there's really only one entrance to the church, because they didn't seem to worry about watching the other entrances. And when people came back, when Rick and the others came back, they came in through that main entrance. So yeah, as soon as the door opens, it's they're going to have a very easy time. They can hide in bushes, point guns towards, and just be aiming and waiting for the door to open and for them to see some humanoid shape and then shoot, So yeah. And I'm afraid I forget her name, and my wrists are too fucked to check right now, but the yeah, the one that trusted the governor and then, turned on him at the, yeah, her. She, she says, I'll come with, and, yeah, Glenn suggests that he and Maggie come with. And I really loved when, Rick is like, no, and Glenn just, looks him in the eye and says, it's not up to you, because like, yeah, um, they are human beings with agency. Yeah. Uh, and it is also, there's the thing about, you're going to walk to Washington. Let's say we fixed the bus, but there's more of us, this whole thing. And yeah, with the three of them joining, at that point, like, it seems somewhat more reasonable for them to get the bus, Um, yeah, it kind of cuts the entire group in half, I think, more or less. Yeah. And the thing about, listen, it makes more sense if you leave during the daytime is, okay, 12 hours. And I also like, that's again very, yeah, I think Eugene is on the autistic spectrum. This thing of like, Eugene, you, Gene, are going to come with us. He's like, I don't want to. And then when Abraham says, now, he goes, okay. That felt a lot like, I've met a number of autistic people who would very much react like that in that circumstance. I think that, and I say with that love, there's some wonderful autistic people. They are in no way lesser, and if you'd rather have a dead kid than an autistic one, you shouldn't be a parent. I think fucking anti-vaxxers, they're gonna get so many people killed because of this fucking bullshit. If you are at all an anti-vaxxer, H-Bomber Guy did a really solid video on, yeah. Now, I think that pretty well brings us to the, yeah. So, group forms, and they say, we gotta move on them before they move on us. And yeah, that is, like, there is logic in what they say, and I quite appreciate it. Was it the Christian Serrato's character who said, are we being rational right now? Is this really, because, like, Rick doesn't always, he does always try, but he doesn't always succeed at coming up with the best, or going with the best idea. Yeah, sorry about that. I think the microphone might be picking up the engine noise, but it should be leaving soon, I think. But yeah, let's see. I think, yeah. So they leave, and the remaining ones hole up, and Carl's got the gun and is pointing towards the door, and yeah, they made sure to lock both doors. It's such a fucking clever trap. I'm sorry, Jesus Christ. They lock both doors, and there was a small group left, and they, because it seemed like they were moving, and I mean, technically, it's one of those things where, if you do it right, you can cheat the audience without it feeling like forced. And yeah, like, I mean, they never said, it's not like there was a line, an exchange where one person said, maybe we could set a trap for them in the church, and someone else saying no, because at that point it's like, well, okay, you can't, then it must not have been a trap. They must have just changed their mind and come back or something. But no, when, when they were talking about moving on them first, they weren't saying we'll get them at the school. They're saying if some of us leave the church, they're gonna think that the rest are defenseless. And yeah, it does risk them getting shot. But the termites were more interested in yeah, so genuinely a really, really clever way to do it. So yeah, they leave, the termites come in, and the military precision. I fucking love how in recent media, so many of these, both sides, both the good guys and the bad guys will actually use proper tactics. It was something I also really loved about some of the Marvel Netflix show. I guess, yeah, every Marvel Netflix show had it in some to some extent. I think I especially noticed it in the Punisher one. Um, yeah, I think, does that pretty well bring us to the let's see. Uh, let's see. Yeah, the way that they move through the church and making sure to check everywhere, because this, like, is there something, could one of the pews be hiding something, or but yeah, and both doors are locked, so they're about to shoot at the hinges, and then Rick and the others come back with a fucking vengeance. And the part where Gareth, Rick tells Gareth, put your gun down. And Gareth is like, how about you put your guns down and I won't shoot into the room where I'm sure there are people, because I currently have a completely functioning trigger finger. Yeah, well played, sir. He wants his baby back, baby back, baby back ribs. They didn't have to go there. They legit did not have to. The moment, oh my fucking god, because he comes right out and fucking says it, like, Judith, like, god damn, I hated the one who was in the cabin when he's like telling Tyrese, you and the baby are gonna die. And now they're talking about, god damn. Yeah. Um, and yeah, they end up all kneeling, and yeah, they're finished off. And the thing about that was, okay, I'm sorry, that was fucking badass. So Gareth is like, well, you didn't shoot us to death. That must mean something. And then Rick's like, didn't want to waste the bullets. Wow. Yeah. Um. And yeah, they take them out without wasting bullets. And I thought they did a really great job with the editing of, like, cutting and Andrew Lincoln, who on commentary tracks is sometimes referred to as Andy, which is, yeah, I don't know, it just tickles me when these incredibly talented British filmmakers just go by a nickname. Sir Kenneth Branagh said on the one of the first things he says on the commentary track for Thor 1, which is excellent, by the way. If you like that movie and you have access to that commentary track, it's worth the listen. He said, when people on set address me, they just call me Ken. So if you would like to talk back to me during this commentary track, please call me Ken. Ken and Andy. Yeah. I guess if one of them is really named Thomas, there could be a Tom and Andy. God, I gotta watch that movie again. I watched it like I don't know, almost 30 times by now, but it's just such a fucking amazing movie. Okay, at this point, I get, okay, yeah. Not everybody's going to know what the fuck I'm talking about. Rules of Attraction. Tom and Andy scores it. But yeah, yeah, Andy chopping up, and we even see afterwards how fucked up the flesh is. Just, yeah. And it cuts to several reaction shots because several of them are like, this is not okay. If you're not okay, that's okay, but this is not okay. And, Gabriel, like, this is the house of God. And, you know, somewhat religious Maggie saying, no, it's four walls and a roof. Which is apparently also part of why they used a set rather than trying to get an actual fucking church. Sorry, that tickles me. I can just imagine, like, telling, trying to talk to some like conservative Christian who has, who like sometimes rents out the church for, entertainment purposes, trying to tell him, so we'd like to film something there, and his eyes light up, and then they tell him, yeah, it's a zombie story, and we're gonna kill like so many people right there. There's gonna be blood on the floor, guts on the walls, brains. But why are you leaving? Just, yeah. Anyway, I think that does bring us to, oh, right, yeah. So, okay, this following takes place before this, but um, I'm doing a Tarantino movie pretty soon. We can do a little bit of non-linear timeline in this video. Sasha with Bob, and this thing of, you know, he's still playing the game, talking about, technically I lost weight, but, he's like, now that the termites ate some of my flesh, I only have, 50% chance of putting my foot in my mouth. But yeah. Ah, crap. It says, okay, no, yeah, it's still recording. Anyway, yeah, I'm sorry. I think it's, okay, there's not that much left. I'm a little worried about the audio quality. It got, okay, we're powering through it. Yeah, the let's see. Yeah, so yeah, she says she doesn't want to play the game anymore, and she wants to be part of killing, the termites. And there's that thing about, well, he's gonna want to see your face when he wakes up, and Sasha telling Tyrese, you might have to finish him off. And then, yeah, later she is going to try to, but she can't quite, so he has to. And the tension and suspense, because Bob's not moving, and Sasha's very close, and she's not like looking at him, and we're like, oh no, he's going to turn and infect her. But thankfully that does not end up happening. And yeah, I think I might pretty much quick. Let's see. Yeah, right. And saying goodbye. And the thing about, Rick's about to hand over Judith to Carl, and then Bob's like, no, leave her here. I trust her. He's such a sweetheart, such a teddy bear sometimes, and now he's gone. Right, the IMDb trivia notes that with him dead, all of the new people, were they the new people that we met at the prison, are gone. Yeah. I liked Abraham leaving a message in the map. God damn it, I can't remember, but Bob said something really good to Rick also. Right, right. You let me in, because that's what you do. You take people in. Like don't forget, never forget who you are. And I think, does that pretty well bring us to the, there's very little left, I feel like. Yeah, I, oh, it was very cool that she got her, yeah, um, she requisitioned her sword back. And I think that pretty well does just leave the ending. So yeah, very, very cool. At first it's like, who is it? And, you know, yeah, Daryl comes out. And yeah, I wonder if this means that they did actually, did they find Beth? It's a really effective ending because I can hardly wait. It won't be many days before I do another episode. But yeah, um, I'd like to think that not only did he return with Carol, but they did find someone. So he turns and says, "Come on out." Carol, this is Daryl. Bring out Cheryl.